What is going on today, guys? May 2nd. Happy Monday. Or sorry. Yeah, it is Monday. Got mixed up with days for a second. What an absolutely flamboyant day it was. And I'm talking about massive moves to the upside, massive moves to the downside, and just absolutely all over the place. If you're a day trader, would definitely I definitely believe this is a day trader's paradise right now with the conditions the market is under, with how volatile everything is, because there's so many day trade opportunities at the moment because of this volatility. It's just been, I mean, today, like, these are the types of days I don't want to commit to anything and get stuck or anything like that. I mean, I did make a few trades. I did expand on one position today. I kept it very simple though, because it with a market this flamboyant, I mean, it's so tough to take any longs because my type of style is I like to swing. Obviously, if a day trade presents itself and the momentum is there, for sure. But today was one of those days that it was just so hard to figure things out. So, watching the Dow Jones, S&P, and Nasdaq closely, it was just all over the place. So I stuck to patience and not forcing anything. And yeah, today just what an all around all over the place it was. Um, the volatility, like I said, is at like an absolute maximum right now, just because of the conditions the world is under. And then there's just a lot of news related things that are influencing this. And oil finished green, which is nice. It's nice to see. I mean, I'm definitely expecting this to see another rise to the upside. I mean, it's over $100. In terms of that, like it was like 60, 70, $80 not too long ago. I mean, in terms of where it is, I mean, it's pretty damn high. But I do see this uptrending again like it did in March. So keep an eye on oil, guys. In terms of the Dow, S&P, Nasdaq, it finished green. It finished green today, and I guess after hours, it's in the red again. So like I said to you guys, I mean, these these markets are extremely volatile in both directions. Um, I mean, for me, I would love to see some consistency in terms of the market choosing the direction it wants to go. With it going up and down and up and down and up and down. I mean, obviously there's always opportunities that present themselves, but in terms of conditions that are most ideal to trade in for me, like I want to see some consistency whether the market wants to choose a downside trend or an upside trend. Today was just like bipolar and all over the place. So um, make sure you guys check out my stock twits at the Deepster 7. I didn't do much today, so I did just post a few holdings that I have and my thoughts and stuff and a few day trades. And yeah, guys, make sure to follow that up for more live updates. And let's get into it. UVXY, like we always do, we're gonna talk about this one, the bearish ETF in relation to the market. Now, because the market rallied heading into the power hour or the last hour of trading, look at this ladder down. Like, wow. See, the thing is, guys, like, look at these three huge wick candles to the downside. But like, who's to say that this doesn't consolidate here in this high 17s area and then just take off again? Like who? Like because I mean, if you literally look back right here, look you on the 28th of April. Look, you had those wicks to the downside, finds a consolidation, and then just takes the next leg up. Like it doesn't care. I mean, obviously with it's all based on market condition. If the market is bearish, this is gonna, like I've said before, this is gonna absolutely skyrocket. And again here on the 25th, you get those legs down and you're expecting maybe like a continuation like to the downside, right? But then nope, it just completely rejects that and goes straight back to the upside. So honestly, this could be maybe the start of UVXY coming back to the downside, maybe leveling out around the 12, 13, $14 range again, or we get some news from the Feds tomorrow or something, and then this gets driven up over $20. It's really unpredictable, I mean, a lot of price action is dictated by huge whales and hedges, so who knows what they're up to at the moment, but uh, all we can do is just ride the waves that they create as best as we can, right? I mean, that's just my whole interpretation of the market, is that it's 100% manipulated. And I mean, I could have a debate with anyone on that, but there's a lot of ETFs, there's a lot of particular plays that they target. If you look at the level 2 of the bids and the asks, it's absolute insanity. Like, you could tell, like, there's literally algos that are running this thing. Like, but and especially here in UVXY, there's definitely algos, like, with these hedges and whoever it may be. Because I mean, if you look at the bids and the asks, it's just absolutely absurd how, like, the price action works here. But I did say that this is a great play to get in at 1150, and now look at it. I mean, it went all the way close to $20. I mean, and like I said, guys, keep this one on watch, because I mean, it just depends on news and market movement. If the market's bearish, it's going to go over $20. I mean, 100% it's going to break that $20 range. Now, like, these 3 wicks to the downside, they are meaningless, because look at what UVXY has proven this past couple of weeks. It doesn't give a damn. It doesn't care. It's like, oh, like, screw your analysis, right? Like, screw your analysis. Looking at these, the selling pressure, right? Screw that. It just will take you straight back to the upside. So keep an eye on it. It can go either way. It just depends on market news, So we'll see what happens with that. The next ETF that I've been talking about consistently in a lot of my videos is KOLD, the bearish ETF for natural gas. Now, it got hammered today because Boyle is rallying the bullish side of natural gas. In terms of why it's rallying, I'm not entirely sure. I did not look into that, but I've kept this on watch so consistently because, like I've told you guys, between, like, anything under the $10 range is an accumulation range. Like, I'm telling you guys, like, natural gas cannot be sustained at the levels that it's at, and when that starts crumbling, KOLD is going to skyrocket. Could I be wrong? 100%, I could be wrong. Could my analysis be wrong? 100%. But based on what I'm seeing and a lot of, like, the trend of Boyle, I do see that breaking down back to the downside, and we should see a move from KOLD up to $15 to $20 range. And yes, guys, that's over 100% on the high side, and I think it can go even higher depending on the news. But obviously, the pressure is mainly coming from the Russians, and because they're the main exporter of natural gas in the world, so. Obviously, like I said, that has an impact on this, the majority impact. So, but in general, guys, like I said, around this range, just accumulate it and hold it. And yeah, I mean, like I said, in the next couple months or so, I see this going to $15 to $20. So keep this on watch, guys. Another one I've been talking about consistently, RIVN. Um, Another one that's in the accumulation range. Now, I'm not holding it currently just because of the market volatility. I mean, it's just been up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But what I want to see is the next few days. I want it to hold this level. I want it to hold this level between the lows. It was like low 29s. I want it to stay above 30, and I want it to hold it. I want it to hold in this range. And I mean, obviously you can see there's a lot of buying pressure here towards the end of the day because the market rallied, and it made a bunch of big names bounce. Like, I mean, Rivian bounced, right? I mean, this is a solid bounce to the upside, and what we want to see is that continued momentum into the next few days, because we don't want to just see, like, one, two, like, it's very flamboyant. We want to have some consistency and have that confirmation to be able to make that determination that this is a good entry. So, Rivian, an EV play that I believe in, that is a solid company. And if you're long on the play, then, don't bother. Like, just leave it alone and let it ride. Because, I mean, is it possible that Rivian could go to all-time lows? Of course it is. I mean, but eventually the market has to level out because it's downtrended a lot. Um, Obviously, in relation to inflation and everything else going on in the world, there's so much volatility in the market, but there has been a lot of red days. So, I do see green days on the horizon, and a lot of these plays uptrending. So, just crazy times it is. It really is, guys. Very crazy times. So don't, earlier today I was frustrated, but it's better just not to beat yourself up about it, guys, because these conditions of the market are extremely complex. In my opinion, everyone's opinion and outlook is different, but the market has been an extremely complex entity to figure out. So just be patient with yourself and keep your stop losses and try to do the best that you can with that. So that's what I got for Rivian. Keep that one on watch, guys. I'm really looking forward to that heading into some bullish days. And moving on over to Fubo. This is another play I've been talking about to keep on watch. Look at this bullish uptrend to the upside. Um, the low was in like the 370s. It looks like the all-time lows. Wow. I mean, did I expect this to happen? Not really. Uh, yes and no, actually. I mean, obviously, I talked about the market volatility and how insane the pressure is to the downside because of inflation and pressure of just everything going on. So I mean, but I still kept that optimism even when this was at 6.5, 50. I mean, I kept that optimism, but clearly it showed that it can break those levels and head to new all-time lows, which is what I've talked about. Like with SoFi, the same thing I talked about, that I believe in these plays, but at the same token, they're in all-time lows. There's nothing stopping them from heading to new all-time lows. So you always have to keep, obviously be aware of that, because like the market is just in such a volatile state. So could Fubo continue to the downside? That's all depending on how the market reacts, in the coming weeks. So, I mean, I don't know. I still think Fubo is a great buy. In this range, I still think Fubo is a great buy. I don't think it's a company that's going to be going under anytime soon. Um, but everyone has their own outlook and whatnot. But my whole take on Fubo is that it's a buy and hold. So is Rivian, and like SoFi is another good one. And there's countless names, but like these are like the main ones on my mind. And now getting into the last two plays, like I have been talking about, WKEY, the low float security company. It's like a technology security company. Very just strange price action. I mean, it's kind of been the same price action as it's been. As you guys can see, these wicks that have, I mean, it's just like flatlined. You see these? It's basically because there's such little volume. And, in plays like this, like I told you guys, when big bids come in, it can move rapidly. And when I say rapidly, it'll move in like a heartbeat. Like you'll see this head to the $2.50, $3 range. I'm still overall very bullish in the name. I mean, I still do see it breaking up over $2 again. What I do not want to see is this 160 level broken, because I mean, who knows where it can go from there. So, if you are in this and you're long and strong, I mean, keep an eye for that 160 level, because we do not want to see that broken. Because if that breaks, we're in all-time low territories as it is. This can continue downward. So, keep that in mind, guys. Obviously stay optimistic. I do believe in this company. They have solid quarterly gains, quarter over quarter. So, I mean, I don't know, guys. It can go either. It can go either way. I mean, as long as there's market strength, and this company releases some type of update, right? Like, anything can happen. So keep this on watch, guys. If you're about those penny low flow plays, this is one of those that can really pick up traction quick. Last one we're gonna be talking about, like I have been, is my massive holding in Blue Water Vaccines. So I have been buying more and more in these all-time low territories. Um, am I like I want to be as transparent and honest with you guys as much as I can, right? So I have been buying a ton of the dips. My average is now down to 450 as of right now. And I mean, overall, I'm just staying extremely optimistic. I'm staying optimistic. I'm staying realistic. I'm staying patient because that's the best thing that I can do at the moment. I mean, listen, like anyone could call that, oh, you're bag holding this and that, but in reality, in terms of my price target and where I see this going with any type of company update, which they should be updating sometime soon. If it's solid news, this can go $6, $7, $8 range, and that would get me out of the little hole that I'm in. And I mean, I know quite a few other people that have averages over the $5 range. Um, but this is one to keep a close eye on, and I really do see it picking up traction soon. It in terms of the volume, it doesn't have that volume right now. Um, Obviously, there's a lot of attention and obviously a ton of other plays here, but this is just another one of those low flow plays. 11 million shares outstanding. That's like absolutely nothing. And when massive bids comes in, it's gonna fly. So you know, we can only just wait and see what happens. I mean, could it continue lower? Of course it can. It's proven that it has that ability to do so. But the best thing for me, I just I didn't feel like having a stop loss on it. And is that a mistake? Yes and no, because I'm having more of like a longer term mentality on it. If I would need to wait like a month or two to see what happens with the company, and if there is going to be an uptrend to the upside, and there is some positive news released, but it all just depends. I mean, this is one of those high risk plays, so you can either reap the benefits or take the loss. And at the end of the day, I'm still staying optimistic here, guys. So, like I said, I just want to be transparent with you guys as much as I can, and always be honest with you. These past few weeks haven't been the easiest because of being in the hole in blue water vaccines, and obviously buying more of the dip. But overall, still staying optimistic, and we have to continue to charge forward and learn and continue to expand our minds on opportunities in the market, and our strategies and whatnot. So, in general, with today, my the overall recap consisted of UVXY, KOLD, the two ETFs that I like to focus on right now, RIVN, Fubo. Also talked about SOFI, uh, WKEY, and BWV, Blue Water Vaccines. Those basically all the names that I really have to discuss today. Market was as flamboyant as could be, and I don't see why the market will just stop that out of nowhere. There has to be some type of update from the Fed, or in the news in general, to help stabilize these markets, because they're in terms of what side it wants to be on, it doesn't know yet. It's just jumping back and forth, uptrend, downtrend, uptrend, downtrend. Um, but obviously, like, I don't have a crystal ball, and but like I said with UVXY, that ETF was overdue for a run, because the market uh it was rallying a bit, and obviously it's good to see that, but we have to be realistic with the market conditions. And I mean, that was when it was 11, $12, and then it ran all the way up to 19s. um yeah, and just keep an eye out for it, because that can easily break the 20 level, and go even much higher than that. But market can rally though. I mean, it just depends. It all just depends. Uh, Token of advice, like I always say, guys, is just be patient, stick to your plan, and don't worry about all the haters or anything like that. If you have anyone criticizing decisions you make, and not, I mean, if they're not giving you any type of like reasoning why they feel that way, right? Like opposite of what you're feeling about a play or something, and they're not giving you any type of analysis, like legit analysis, just ignore people like that, because that type of stuff can really weigh on your mind, and it's just not good. And I've seen that time and time again in like StockTwits and other places, you know. But just stick to what you believe in, stick to your plan, and just execute. And above all else, just be patient. So, um, if you guys enjoy this content, make sure to like and subscribe the video, or subscribe and like the video, I should say, and follow my stock tweets of the Deepster 7 for more up to date opinions and plays that I have throughout the day, the trading session. So, um, I really hope you guys are navigating your way through this in a good way, because I mean right now it's just been real tough. It's been real tough. There's a lot of opportunities out there, but up and down, up and down. It's just been crazy. So, I really hope I'm helping you guys out. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.